Hey guys, Carly at We Print Wraps. Thought I'd teach you a little trick in Photoshop today about how to straighten out and adjust an image. You know when you asked your customer, hey, I need a photo of your trailer or your truck or your vehicle, can you please take that photo straight on, centered, not at an angle, so I can do a design proof on it? Well, as you can see, this customer did not get the whole straight on, centered idea of what I was talking about. So what I like to do to fix this, I actually go into Photoshop. I open the photo in Photoshop, and then I'm going to go over here. It's normally on the crop tool, and I'm going to hover over, hold down my mouse on the crop tool, and go to Perspective Crop Tool. And then I'm going to kind of zoom in, and what I want to do is put this on like kind of where a flat surface of a box would be on this image. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing these points of where I see what should be a flat rectangle, but it's not. And there we go. And sometimes I'll zoom in and just kind of toggle and move around and make sure I get these right on the lines as straight as I can, aligned with the bottom of the trailer to the back corners. So you just want to kind of line it up in all four corners as good as you can, because I want this to now turn into a flat rectangle. After I get it all lined up, I'm going to go ahead and expand it out to over the edge of the trailer. So when I'm cropping it, so what I'm going to crop is going to be in this area. So when I crop it, the whole trailer is in there. So now that I got it all drawn out, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter for crop, and boom, there it is. It turns into a flat surface. So I know it kind of like distorts the image and makes it a little funky, but now I at least have a flat surface image to work with. So now when I go into Illustrator and start doing my design, I can scale things in properly. So I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save as a JPEG. It's already in there. I'm going to go ahead and sometimes I like to keep the original, so I'm going to go no. I'm just going to add like a .1 to it. Save it as a JPEG. I don't want to delete the original photo just in case I ever need to go back to it. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to go open my Illustrator. I'm going to drag this image in, and I'm going to go ahead and take the measurements the customer gave me on this trailer, and I'm going to go on here and draw. See, when I draw a box, it covers the whole flat surface. And I'm going to, I'll put a green fill so you can see what I'm doing. On that surface he measured, I'm going to make clipping mask. Right click. Sorry, I did that a little fast. I'll go back. So this is how I scale. I get a green, I draw a colored box over the area that I'm going to be scaling, and I'm going to select both the image and the box. The box needs to be in the front because the clipping mask needs to be in the front. I'm going to right click, make clipping mask, and then there we go. And I'm going to go up to my measurements over here. I like to do things in a 10% scale. So the width, I'm going to actually go to the height first. The height he said was 66 inches, so I'm going to do 6.6 inches. And then 100, and it came out to 111.7. But he told me the measurement was 1.3. So there we go. And what I did, I had to make sure this was unlocked so I can get the exact width that I needed without putting it in the constraints. Then I'm going to right click and I release clipping mask, and there we go. Now I have it all scaled out to the proper scale, and I can start designing. Put an artboard around the image. I'll delete my old artboard. I'll make this the back. I'll go to my layers and lock this layer and start a new layer. And I'll start tracing. Say I want to do a full wrap on this trailer. On the side, I would start tracing the edges of the trailer. I'm going to put a stroke. I'm going to use my pen tool. I'll put a colored stroke so I can see what I'm doing, and I'll start tracing the trailer. Click, click, click. It takes a minute. Okay, I'm going to kind of just do this a little sloppy so you guys get the idea. And sometimes I'll just do it on the edge, and then if there's going to be something else that wraps around the front, I'll draw another area around the front part and change that color if it needs to be changed, so I can give a more better image of what the design is going to be. So, and then also if there's things on the side of the trailer you need to account for, like this big vent I don't know if you're going to be able to wrap over it. You might be just wrapping the surface of the vent. So I'm going to go and I'm going to trace around it, and then I'm also going to be tracing around the surface that you're wrapping. I didn't do that exactly right. I'm going to drag this down, and then I'm going to select those corners and around them. Okay, so I know that we're not going to be wrapping this part, maybe this part, if we wanted to. I'm going to go to Pathfinder, I'm going to subtract the front, and then I'm going to change that, and I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to go to Pathfinder, subtract front, and there we go. So when I do design to make an image, and maybe that image is going to flow over here, I know that we're only wrapping the surface of this. Some people may not wrap it at all because it's plastic, and we know how wrap material does with plastic. So just delete that. I use my direct selection tool to just select that one little piece, not the whole compound path. And there you go. That's it for today. See you next time.